Hello. Request everyone to please go on mute. Moirangthim Sanjoy Singh, I think your mic is not mute. Yeah, hello everyone. Good afternoon. In continuation of the AI training conducted on 10 December 2025, we are here today to explore further topics under the guidance of the expert. Everyone, let's welcome our speaker for today, Mr. Samrat Kishore, who is a practice lead, digital infrastructure and cybersecurity, who will guide us through an AI for official documentation and how AI works for basic and non-tech users. We look forward to a productive session and hope everyone gains clearer insight into AI. Over to you, Samrat.
Thank you very much, Deepa. And good afternoon, everyone. I think we still have some disturbance here. Okay, we have 66 participants, including me, so probably 65 people who are interested in the field of AI and they want to use AI for increasing their productivity. So thank you all for joining, and let's make this session as interactive as we can, because it's very practical. What we're going to discuss today is all very practical stuff. So uh, there's no concepts to be really learned by heart and to be remembered always. These are basically what we are going to discuss today are basically practices that we can use in our daily lives, in our day-to-day work, something which will make us more productive. We will be able to work faster with the tools that we have at our disposal. So I'll start with a brief presentation. I have a couple of slides to share. These are just to give a general direction to the discussion. It's not the only thing which can be perceived on AI, but this is something which gives a general sense on what how AI should be perceived. Okay, so I generally start with this. Uh, it just shows a set of tools which are available to us, and this list actually keeps growing. But what I want you to focus on right now is the center part, which is the categories. So I'm hoping a lot of you are already using AI tools in whatever capacity you're working currently, and also your personal lives. So, for example, I use a lot, Grammarly, for example, I've been using since many years, 5, 6 years now, for writing, and it makes sure that you're writing the right kind of, it takes care of your grammar, it takes care of spelling, etc. So similarly, there are so many tools on the screen right now, and a lot of you would have seen, a lot of you may have not seen, but then you see that belongs to a certain category. So what we should try and understand is that AI, while it is a wide field of study and practice, what is important to note is that there are applications which are now being shaped in that field of practice. So there is general purpose AI. A lot of tools which are available to us are general purpose, and then there are specific tools which go into either productivity, video creation, editing, or marketing. There are some chatbots as well, which have got a beautiful chatbot interface, and then they can interface with other tools at the background. There are some designing tools. So if you've heard of Dolly or if you've heard of Midjourney, etc., they are beautiful design tools which are available to us. And then there is a plethora of writing tools as well, which are available to us to use in different kind of applications that we have. So my point is that while we have access to uh, hundreds of tools, if not thousands, what we have to do is we have to decide which tools are we picking, what is our stack, which is the technology stack that we have chosen, and accordingly we should start training on that, and we should start using them. And my suggestion to you all is that do not have too many tools in your arsenal. Whichever tools you're using, go deeper into those. So as we start using some tools, let's say on a daily basis, for example, ChatGPT, Claude, they try and retain the memory of projects that we have discussed with them. So a lot of times your work will get more and more easier. So as you start using these tools more, your work actually starts getting more and more easier. So I will cover some tools today. Those are basically to make sure that what we are trying to do here is look at some applications, and that's also what is given in the agenda. We're going to look at some applications again from our daily lives. Summarizing emails, recording meeting notes, summarizing meeting notes, etc. That kind of stuff. Drafting letters, creating proposals, presentations, and then making sure that we are able to do that in the right amount of time and with the right kind of accuracy. Accuracy is very important here because these AI tools, they are trained with the data on the internet, so they are inaccurate, a lot of times. So what we need to make sure is that while we are using these tools, we are very aware that they may go wrong and we are there to correct it. So the important point of discussion here is, and this is something which I want you all to take back today, that while AI is augmenting our work, it is not changing our judgment. So we have to still exercise our judgment. Whenever we are using AI, we have to make sure that while there is some first draft, there is some quick list that it has created for us, we still have to exercise our judgment on the entire document. And and once that document goes out from our mailbox, that becomes our document, right? So all the accountability of everything which is gone in the document becomes ours. So we have to be very careful about um, how we're using AI and how we're using the outcomes which are generated using AI tools. Yeah, so far so good.
Yes,
So
Sundar.
let's go into some tools. And Deepa, you may, if anybody is asking, just keep an eye on the chat. If somebody is asking questions on the chat, then you let me know. Otherwise, people
Sure,
can
sure, sure.
raise hands and ask questions. Yeah.
Sure,
So
sure.
I'll start with the prompting. So this is at the heart of using AI tools. And since you've already had one more session in the past, you would have seen some prompting. But what I really want to emphasize on is that any kind of tools that we are utilizing for our productivity, we have to make sure that to be able to get the maximum output, or the most accurate or the best output from these tools, we have to give it the right kind of prompts. Okay. These systems, because these are all software, so these systems are also designed in a certain way, and these companies who have created it, so Claude is created by Anthropic, for example, Perplexity is another tool, Grok is another tool offered by X.AI, and then there is ChatGPT, which is the OG, the oldest of these consumer available AI tools. So these have been created by respective companies, as a certain kind of software, and what they have done is they have also released their own uh, user manuals, so to say. So what it really means is they have actually tried to teach us that how to best use their tools. So if you go to their respective websites, you will find prompting guide, something called as prompting guide. So you at your will, at your time, you can do that. If you are really fond of a particular tool, you can go to their website and download the prompting guide and start learning uh, on respective prompting for them for that particular tool. What I have done here is this is something which is generic. Okay, this is something which works across different tools. So we have to simulate a persona. That's the starting point where we have to tell them that what you are. You have to think like an architect. You have to think like an engineer. You have to think like a doctor. Although it has now started saying that I'm not a doctor and I'm not give you medical advice. But still, I mean, you have to give it a persona. Okay, think like a public policy expert, think like a CTO, think like a IAS officer. So all that is something which has to be given in the beginning. Imagine this to be like a young member of your team, and that member has to be first told what your role is, right? Then you give this member a task, and and there is something which a lot of us get wrong, that the task has to be absolutely crystal clear. Again, take the example of an intern or a young member who's joining your team. Uh, they are they are at a basic level of understanding of, let's say, the education that they've had so far, and then they have a basic level of understanding of your department, the way it functions. But by giving the persona and the specific task, you're making sure that this software now knows that what it is supposed to think like and what it is supposed to do. Then you give some steps to complete the tasks. Now, this is important because, as you give an elaborate task, so for example, writing an email, it can be a task, but writing an email also has a lot of steps, meaning I may be required to summarize a certain minutes of the meeting. So for example, I may give it a document saying, summarize this document and send the summary to participants of that particular meeting. So now those are steps, right? So I have to write those steps. I have to give some context that there is a meeting which happened because there was a project being discussed. Now, what is that project? So you can write all that context. So that's the next step, which is, write the steps, write the context, give it some constraints. So these constraints may be in terms of any of the parameters that you ask it to create or write about. Um, these constraints may be, you know, writing in a certain number of words. These may be writing in a certain kind of language. These may be even writing in a regional language, for example. So all those constraints you're giving it, all this forms part of your instruction. Then you give it a goal. Okay. Very important is to give it a goal because the above three steps, giving the task, giving the steps to complete the task, and giving the context. There may be some things because we are thinking about these, so there may be some things that we miss out because we are humans, right? So if we miss something out and we say that, here is the goal that I want to achieve by doing what I'm asking you to do, what I'm going to make sure is that if the software has a question, it is able to come back to me saying that to be able to achieve this goal, you've not given me these two pieces of information, or it will ask you, I need a clarification on this particular area. So, for example, I'm asking the software to create an email, but I'm not giving the kind of recipients it is going to be addressed to. So it may come back and ask me, are the recipients technical in nature? Will they understand technology? Are they administrative in nature? Will I have to write very simple language, still trying to explain this hardcore complex problem? So that's the kind of questions come back with. So that's why it is important to define the goal, that what are we trying to achieve here while we're creating this large prompt. Then, very importantly, the outcome, that what do we want as an output? What format do we want the output in? So do we want a PDF file to get generated? Do we want a Word file to get generated? Do we want a picture to get generated? Something. Okay. So any kind of, or a report to be written, or a DPR to be written. So anything we want as an outcome, we have to define that in the prompt itself. So if you look at the image on the left hand side, you'll see the prompt is super huge, right? It's large. It's like almost a page long, and that is the right kind of prompt to give to a AI for getting the best results. Okay, I've also tried using an AI to write a prompt for another AI tool. So that's also a possibility, right? You can do that. Again, if we were to write a full page prompt, it will take us a lot of time and efforts. So what you could do is and I will show you that, where you could create prompt trees. You could actually have, you could start defining each of these in as few words as possible, and then you just ask this one AI champion, maybe ChatGPT, to create a large full scale prompt for Claude, and it does that beautifully. Okay, so you can easily create um um a large prompt, a very detailed prompt using an AI itself. Okay, give it to another bot, give it to another sort of AI tool, and that should solve your problems. So that's on prompting. Any questions on prompting so far? Okay, I guess so. We can move on to some tools. The tools that I'm going to cover today are somewhat the most used tools. The most used tools, Again, this is all not promoted by any ministry. This is not something which is endorsed in any way. Just take this as, as a practitioner. I'm a practitioner of this field, so I would say take this as a practitioner's advice in terms of using these tools. These are, when if I say these are most used tools, it just means that these are, as per reported numbers, these are the most used tools in the world. So that's why I keep saying these are some most of the used tools, most commonly used tools, etc. And I think if you have paid versions of Chat GPT or Claude, you can try along, as we go, uh, doing the prompting. So I want to start with Chat GPT first. I want a volunteer from people who are attending this workshop, somebody who can talk to us about the training. So does anybody have any idea about the training of these bots or these AI tools? Deepa, let me know if you see any hand raises.
No one so far.
Okay. Deepa, do you have any idea about this?
Yeah, ChatGPT. Sorry. Second. Yes, Mr. Sadananda, you have anything to say?
That's an
Yes, I'm back.
accidental unmute. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
was so yeah, Deepa, I think I wanted to talk about training. So mostly ChatGPT was trained on Reddit. If you are aware about Reddit, and they that is something which sort of uses where there is user generated data getting created,
Mhm,
and people write comments, people ask questions, etc. So that is something which
mhm,
is which is on the training side of ChatGPT. So it has got a lot of text which has gone in, which was written by users. So users asking questions, users giving responses. So a lot of times you'll see ChatGPT gives responses which are very simple language, in very simple language, and it sort of feels like there's a human talking to us instead of a machine. So that's the reason, it has been trained on human sentiments. If you look at the usage on the right side, it is a conversational assistant for information retrieval. Um, where is it retrieving information from? That is the training data it is retrieving information from. So it crawled websites, it is collecting information from Reddit, etc. They had an enterprise agreement to share data with them. Similarly, Grok has uh, been trained on Twitter. Um, the Sora tool, I think, for video generation. People, OpenAI has been saying that it is trained on YouTube videos, etc. So different to Google Gemini, that has been trained on all of Google data. So Google collects a lot of information about all of us, right? So uh, Google Gemini, very smart AI platform, that has been created and trained using our own data. If you start using it from your own user account, it also has context of your emails. So because it's all if you're using Gmail, that is also reading your emails. It has context of your Gmail, etc. And your Google Drive. So if you want to pull up any document from your Google Drive into your Gemini, that is also possible. So again, the AI tools that we're going to discuss today, they are as smart as the training data which has gone behind training them, and using that training data, they are generating the responses that they're giving to us, either in terms of text or documents or pictures, etc. Okay. Um, then comes Microsoft Copilot. We're going to discuss Claude also. Very important thing is that it is highly used in its country of origin is Australia. It is of great use in coding, in analytics. I've seen this doing better than ChatGPT, so I've also taken a paid subscription of Claude because it has very little hallucinations as well. So I like using Claude because of ease of use, and I'll just show you the interface, etc. Um, then comes Canva. I think Prabhat would have covered Canva. Deepa, have you covered
Mm,
Canva and Gemini?
yeah, he has covered Gemini. Canva, I'm not sure.
Okay, I think generally he does that. There's a Replit tool. There's a notebook LM tool that we going to discuss these as well. So Replit is for prototyping. I generally use that if I'm trying to create any kind of prototypes for systems. As part of our jobs, we are sometimes required to create uh, to to create proposals for some kind of systems, a website, a portal, something like that. So what you could do is you could, not just writing text about it, you could just give those prompts to this tool and it will create a beautiful UI for you as well. So you can actually show your bosses that how this website, when it is created, is going to look like. So that's the advantage of Replit. There's Notebook LM, again a tool by Google. It's a great tool for summarization. It's a great tool um, for for writing for creating podcasts as well. So I what I generally do is I try to create some documents and try to create a voice version of it. So what it does is it summarizes the document and creates a podcast style talk of that particular document. So very easy to uh, listen to documents, right, than to read, let's say, a 200 page document. So those are some tools which we're going to discuss today. Before we get there, I want to talk about some security measures also. So I think this was Prabhat was conveying this feedback to me that a lot of questions came around security of while using AI tools. So what is really important is look at the left hand side. Okay. So where we have to check terms on both in terms of use as well as data retention. So a lot of tools do offer there's a just like in your browser you have an incognito mode. A lot of tools do offer that incognito mode as well, and I will show you on ChatGPT. So while they offer that, you still have to go inside their terms and see, even in the incognito mode, are they retaining your information? Because a lot of times people think that in the incognito mode, the tools are going blind, they're not seeing anything that we're doing. It is wrong perception. It does not happen in the browser. It does not happen in the case of AI as well. Then comes your user or enterprise or business grade LLM tools. So now this is important because um, if let's say there are 65 of us on the call, if we start subscribing to each tool, paying 23 dollars each for multiple tools, etc. While we will be getting an individual subscription to the tool, we will also be spending a lot of money, right? We go back and we claim it from the office. So eventually, what we could think of is going for an enterprise version of these tools, where multiple seats can be procured. So while it is a cost benefit, the advantage would also be that we will be able to find out usage patterns, who's using the license, who's not using the license. If the license is not being used, cancel it, right? So we end up saving cost. The second is if we have enterprise grade licenses, we can apply some kind of security controls as well, where we can actually say if somebody is uploading a document which has PII, which has sensitive data or personal data, it will stop that upload. So that kind of controls can be applied on enterprise grade AI tools. So if we have a Copilot, if we have even ChatGPT, which is customized for an enterprise, you can implement some kind of security and privacy controls. So that's why I always recommend that. If possible, go for an enterprise version. Use demo accounts or burner accounts. Now, these are important because uh, while you use these tools, they have a memory. I said that before. It acts in your favor, but it also is a disadvantage because if let's say if you were to try a new tool or you have to try 20 new tools, you can't be going giving them your real email address. That will just, fill up your mailbox with promotional emails later because they will just keep chasing you till the time you subscribe, right? So try and use disposable email addresses just to log in, try out a tool. If you like it, you subscribe, right? If you try like it, you create an account and you start using it. But before that, unless you're convinced on a tool, don't subscribe to it from your legitimate email accounts. Prefer local deployments. Now this is important because and there is a possibility of doing this. The kind of tools we're talking about, ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, Canva, Notebook, and one of those. There is a possibility of using some of these tools in a local fashion. What does it mean? So, so anything that we're interacting with via the browser is all going back to the internet. Uh, so if let's say we are feeding a document to ChatGPT and we are asking it certain questions, it takes it back to its servers, does the analysis over there, and then brings the outcome back to us. So and we don't have any assurance on where it is taking the document. Is it taking it outside of India? And in all probability, it is taking it outside of India because none of ChatGPT servers are based in India. So so my point is make sure that you're able to find out ways in which we use local deployments. There's a way to deploy locally as well. So for example, tools like Llama, which are released by Meta. There's another model called Mistral. You can use that as well. So these are possible to host on your either your laptop or on a server grade machine in your data centers. So these can be customized to be locally installed and locally used. So again, a great advantage over internet-based tools, right? Uh, we can implement access controls. I was just talking about that in the point number two as well, that if you're using enterprise grade subscriptions, we can actually implement access controls. And most importantly, if all of that is not possible, at least anonymize the data before you're feeding it to the tool. So even if you're not going enterprise, you're not going local, but you still want to analyze a subscriber or summarize a document, try and remove names, try and remove exact location addresses, try and remove exact anything with the specific information. Try and just no select all, replace. So do that because at least you're anonymous, you're not giving it information, so to say. Whatever you're sending out is it's not information which can be used against you if it is retained by that particular company. So it's very, very important, right? And similarly, there are these don'ts as well. So do's and don'ts, extremely important ones. And that's why I want to talk about it before we get started using the tools. The tools I'm going to show you today is, they are all subscription based, and you will see my account being used over there. We have got a shared account as well here. We keep using it in NGD. That's something which is getting trained on like 15 people. So I'll I'll go ahead with the demo now. Any questions so far? Any questions, clarifications, any on the pointers which we covered in the do's and don'ts? Deepa, am I going too fast? Too slow? Or are we just right?
You're fine, Samrat.
Okay, great. So let's switch over to the tools now. Right, so I want to start with ChatGPT, something which everybody is very familiar with, right? So are the participants familiar with this interface of ChatGPT? There's no way I can see the people, right?
I guess ChatGPT everybody uses, they must be familiar. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
Yes, we are familiar.
Okay, excellent. So here is something which they recently introduced just on the recording mode. Have you seen the recording mode? So okay, I'll talk about it. So there are these three buttons which are introduced in, just to introduce different ways in which you can interact with ChatGPT. Uh, on the bottom, you will see, there's an option to add context. So you can add a photo, you can add a file, you
One
can take a
second, Samrat.
screenshot of your current screen. Yeah.
Samrat, are you showing your screen?
Oh, you're not seeing. Okay, okay. Hang
Yeah,
on. I'll
no.
just share
Yeah,
it
no.
again. I had earlier shared the presentation only. I think you can see it now.
Yeah, we can.
Great. So this is the Chat GPT interface. It shows the model that we're working with on the top left. Um, it has, here is the prompt window where you can give it a prompt. It has buttons over here, which are, the right hand side were all recent developments. Left hand side has been with us for a while. So we can take a photo. We can take a photo like in real time. If I click this our option, it will just launch the camera and you can take a picture. You can take a screenshot of your current screen. Um, okay, you can actually upload a picture again to give it some context, to give any kind of uh, context to add to the prompt, or you can upload a file that we were just discussing. On the right
Yeah,
hand side,
Samrat,
yeah.
there's one more question which has come up. It says, is it safe to use government IP while using AI tool, or need to hide using third-party tools?
Okay, so that's a great question. Um, and that's more of a security question than a AI question. Um, I think we do have to use netting at least to be able to obfuscate IPs while we are using these tools. And I think those are to be implemented uh, at your firewall level, that it does not have to be specific to these tools, right? So I would, if you're indicating towards using a VPN and then starting to use this, I would discourage that. Just for using a ChatGPT, if you connect a VPN, does not make sense. So I think that level of IP obfuscation is taken care as at your network level. So that should be okay. Then, okay, so I was talking about these buttons which have been introduced recently on the bottom right. So one is, if you look at this button which has some kind of sound symbol here, this is for using ChatGPT in voice mode. I have personally found voice mode to be more productive. The reason is it's like having a conversation. So while I'm writing something, maybe I'll stop, maybe I'll think, maybe I'll have a coffee and then start writing again. And that's on the writing side. I may be slow there. But if I'm having a conversation with somebody, imagine having a chat with somebody, you will not take 15-second pauses in the middle of talking to somebody, right? So that's the way you chat with ChatGPT here. So if we press this button, the voice mode comes up and you start chatting with it. Hey ChatGPT. Deepa, is my sound coming over?
Yes, Samrat. Samrat, here I have a
Okay.
question. Like when you say when we can chat, right? So won't this be more easier for us to, because many of us won't be knowing much about the proper prompt thing. So it'll be more easier for us to rather chat and deliver what we want than just giving the prompt. So won't this be more easier for people who don't know much about the prompt thing?
Am I
Samrat, you're on
muted?
mute. Yeah, yeah. You are again on mute, Samrat.
So I had muted ChatGPT and then I got muted here as well. So what I was saying is, see, to be able to get an outcome, see what it is doing. I'll just show you and then answer your question. So I just said, hey ChatGPT, can you see my screen? Deepa, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
So I just said, hey ChatGPT, and it just gave me a response, right? Great to hear from you again. Let's dive into whatever you need. And then I was talking to you, but it was hearing it. So Deepa, is my sound coming over? Something like this, right? It was hearing to me. It was hearing me while I was asking you that question again. Then you said, okay, then I think it gave me its own response, etc., etc. So my point is, the conversation interface is basically just doing just understanding. It's just one more layer on top of prompting. Prompting still has to happen. Okay, so it is able to give me that conversation layer because it is also now able to understand human language and my dialect, my way of talking. I can talk in Hindi, I can talk in English. All of that it is now able to interpret. Okay, so I would say prompting still needs to happen, but the good part is now we can start prompting by way of voice instead of typing also. So what I do is I'll tell you something which I do. Because everybody, when we are driving, we have a lot of time. I don't know, Delhi has a lot of traffic, so it takes me an hour. It takes me an hour to reach office. How do I make that 1 hour productive? I try to do book summaries. I try to do some kind of conversation with ChatGPT, at some time. If I'm asking for news, if I'm asking for research, if I'm trying to brainstorm on a certain idea, I start the voice interface and I keep talking to it via my car studio, my car stereo. So it just takes away the pain of having to type on the screen. It's not taking away the need for prompting. But that's a good question, Deepa. I think a lot of people confuse the capability of voice with the as an alternative to giving prompts. Prompts still have to be there, and to be able to get good responses, you have to give very detailed prompts. Even the conversation window, I try to give it very long questions. I try to say, you know what, you know, this is something which I'm required to do. This is something which I need from you. Uh, I need to brainstorm ideas with you. Give me 4 ideas around this. Let's deep dive on a certain, point number one, point number three, that kind of stuff. So it's conversational, but it is only replacing typing. It is not replacing the need for prompting. So that's
Okay.
on the conversational part. Uh, then comes the transcribing voice. So again, this is something which is where you have the capability of converting uh, voice to text. So I'll just show you how. If I say this, it has typed the prompt for me. Yeah, is it visible?
Yes.
So what I was able to do is I was able to type this prompt. In the earlier option, I was able to converse with the AI agent, and in a very hands-free manner. Um, in this scenario, I'm able to only use the speech to text functionality. It is typing the prompt for me, it is not submitting it. So it is still giving me the submit button if you see bottom right. Okay. Again, taking away the pain of typing out. So if I have to give a long prompt, I can talk instead of just instead of having to type the whole thing. Then comes a very important button. This is the record button. Okay. So if you have seen, and this meeting is also being recorded and summarized, right? So if you see the recording button, you can actually start recording um, any meeting. And I've used this feature in my physical meetings, in-person meetings as well. So if my laptop is with me in the meetings, what I do is if I turn on this record feature, it will keep recording what is going on, um, who are the participants, etc. I just have to give it a little bit of insight onto who's talking, in terms of names. And then it is able to create instead of the meeting, it is able to create an action tracker, who's owned up to which tracker, which action, etc. So I'll now stop recording and we'll see how the outcome comes. So you get a button of resume and you get a button of send. This send is as good as sending the information to ChatGPT as a prompt. So if I send this, um, Now it has got all the thing that I was recording. Okay. It's trying to create a summary. See, it has described what I was just trying to describe to you. Also gives you markers. So where did I describe on the recording? It will give you all of that. I think this for me was a feature which sort of completed the ChatGPT offering. It was also giving me probable questions. So I asked that probable question here. How does the feature identify speakers? It is giving me answers. So initial speaker mapping. Okay. So what I'll do is I will say this voice is Samrat, and perhaps Deepa could say this voice is Deepa, or this is Deepa speaking, and then ChatGPT will recognize that. Okay. So each time during the whole meeting, we are talking to each other. It will keep it will keep it will keep jotting down what all were the points which Samrat mentioned, what all were the points Deepa mentioned, and if we are owning any tasks, it will give us a task tracker as well at the end of the meeting. So I can just give it a prompt that give me the minutes of the meeting and also the task tracker. It will be able to do that. But for that to happen accurately, you have to first do the voice mapping. So that voice mapping is a critical step here, and that is the kind of things which we call human in the loop, where we are saying one human has to make sure that all the voices are first recognized by ChatGPT, and then it will give a very accurate answer. Okay, so far so good.
Yes, it is.
Super. Right now, we're using WebEx for this particular meeting, but there are other tools as well, right? So which you know about, Teams, Zoom, Google. All of those offer recording and summarizing features now, right? Even Notion AI. Otter is something which I use personally, so I can actually show you Otter, the kind of features it offers. So that's the next I'm going to talk about. Uh, we good with at least on the recording side. So I've started with meetings, and let's just focus on meetings for now. I'll come back to ChatGPT for the note creation, etc. But if you look at Otter, yeah, there it is. So if you look at Otter, these are uh, so one is the Otter AI chat. Okay, this is on my conversations. So the sole purpose of this tool is to uh, to record meetings, to summarize meetings, to I can even upload recordings here. So I'll show you an example of what the upload will look like. So if I upload something, what can it be? So for example, I was meeting somebody very important, and I did not have access to any of these tools. What I'll do is I'll record my audio discussion on the phone, right? Very easy. You can record the discussion on the phone and just upload the file over here. What will Otter do is will again summarize the whole conversation. It will do speaker one, speaker two, based on the voices. It will do speaker one, speaker two. Now you can tell the Otter that speaker one is this person, speaker two is this person, and then again it will create a whole summary of the meeting. It will create minutes of the meeting. It will create tasks. So all that is possible here. So one is the possibility of integrating it with your respective meetings. So I have integrated it with my calendar, um, my personal calendar, not the calendar which I use for office, not possible. So that is something which is, and I created a sample meeting here. So if you see, there's an option to join meeting right from here, which means it is now integrated with my Teams account. Okay. If I start a meeting in Teams, I get an option to start recording via Otter and start summarizing via Otter. So what it does is it joins as a participant in the meeting. That's the difference. Okay. So it joins the meeting as a note taker, and what it does is it it simply keeps taking notes and in my meetings, and once the meeting is over, I can actually configure it to send out emails to all the participants. I can configure it to me. Is I will notes. I'll verify if all the details which are captured are correct, and then I can share it to other participants as well. So Otter is a great tool. ChatGPT is a great tool, and then there are respective recorders and summarizers available in Teams, WebEx, Zoom, and Google Meet as well. So those are on meetings side. One very important thing I was telling you about, that if I meet somebody offline and I record the meeting on the phone, simple recorder, I can actually come back and upload it here. So I'll just show a demo of how that works. I have some videos which I recorded earlier in the form of podcasts. Okay, I'm going to show that now. Import. So if I browse files, it is taking me. Let's say it is. This is a very long video. Let's take this one. So okay, navigating DPDP. Now here is a video which is about 57 long. I have just added it here. Okay, it is uploading it. It's about 3 GBs. Okay, again a bad choice. 3 GBs. It will take forever to upload. Let me pick up a smaller one. This one, 15 minutes. 100 MB. Okay, perfect. So this is a video which will get uploaded now, and after uploading, it will be transcribing, and we will get to see the transcript. Otter. So if you try doing similar things on other tools, the results are not very accurate. I have seen Otter to be highly accurate in terms of identifying the words. And then what I generally do is, because this was a video which was recorded by somebody who had a heavy accent um, in his speech. I tried to. Some of the words were not very clear when they were picked up by otters. Take the notes. When I take text, I took it back to ChatGPT and I asked it to recreate the of this particular talk. And that's how I was able to arrive at, again, contextually, it was able to augment those words. So if I'm talking about let's say, cloud, it will not, it will know, I'm talking about cloud, cybersecurity, and data center, etc., etc. It will not talk about, clouds in the sky. So that kind of contextual augmentation it was able to do. Okay, it is even slower than I expected it to be. And this is just 100 MBs. I can actually show you some. In the interest of time, I'll show you which I already did. So I had uploaded these videos in the past, and these summaries have been created. Sorry, these transcripts have been created uh, via those videos. So I think this is a big use case. Transcribing meetings, making sure that we're not losing out on any points while the meetings are being done. So we pick up this, and then we can summarize as well. So this is an overview. Again, AI generated, right? Because it was a 25-minute video, I get an option to copy the summary as well. So I can actually copy the summary, paste it in the email, and send it out very easily. I could go to a detailed transcript where it is saying, this is speaker one and this is speaker two. What are they talking about? And then comes the whole conversation. So that's how it breaks down even your video. So that was a video recording which I had uploaded, and I was interviewing Colonel Sandeep Khanna, who is now the ex CISO of Aadhaar. Yeah, so far so good. Deepa, any questions so far? Do we have any questions by any participants?
The participants seems to be in awe of the tool, I guess.
Okay,
No
excellent.
questions so far.
So I think we've covered that a large portion. I think most of us spend most of our day doing meetings, right? So I've tried to cover that first. Um, then we go on to other tools. So let me come back to ChatGPT. Okay, and a new chat where we say note of state yeah, example, Deepa, any example of something which you could use for creating a note, concept note?
Let's say about state data warehouse.
Okay, this is a bad prompt I've given, but let's see what comes. And it's saying excellent, and it has also generated something. Okay, um, it has perhaps learned from my usage patterns. I've been doing this for about more than 2 years now, right? So it has a lot of memory of my usage trends, and this is the way I generally create documents. Let's say first drafts, something which I always try to get bullet points. Okay, and this is something which you have to give in your prompt itself. That give me bullet points or an outline of the document. So generally, the way I like to create documents is I start from outline. Outline is what, like a table of contents, right? In the document also, it will just be sections and few bullet points. That's the outline view. And once the outline view is you're comfortable with, then you can start by expanding each of these sections. So there are 12 sections that has created just by giving that one prompt. Okay. Now I can give it even a more detailed prompt by saying I want
Samrat, here one
yeah,
one major challenge which I face in my day-to-day task is
yeah,
like creating like they say architecture, like suppose like I want an architectural view, and in that it has to be editable kind of. So I actually struggle to give that in the prompt. So that's
yeah.
something
So
I
it is currently not ready for giving editable pictures. For that we have to use other tools. Um, and other prototyping tools. So as I said, we can actually go to Replit and we can create architectures or anything which is got to do with UI, that we can create over there. There is also another tool which I use for um, for creating a UI or for creating some kind of mind maps. Again, it's a beautiful way to represent concepts, right? So those I try to use Miro. Have you used Miro? Miro.
I personally haven't. Not sure about
Okay.
this.
So you can use Miro for that as well. Again, beautiful tool to start plotting things. So even if you have to show an architecture, you have to show, you'll get assets which are created over there. So how a server looks like, how database looks like, how user looks like, those icons you'll get there. So you can just drag and drop and create interactions. So very easy to use tool.
Okay, okay.
Huh. Okay. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'll try to touch upon what you just said. That's a problem which I think a lot of us have. How do we edit what is created here? So now look at this. I've given it a persona, think like a public policy expert. Okay. Concept note for state data warehouse, maybe like that. Should have redundancy. And low resource consumption. The list for the current workloads. So I've given it some constraints. So I give it a task. I give it a task saying you have to create a concept node for the data warehouse. Use the World Bank template for creating concept node. Okay, so I've given it steps to execute that task and I've given it some constraints. You remember from the prompting that we were discussing about. I've given it constraints. I have asked for give me the now I'm giving it what outcome. So give me the concept node as a editable as a include tables. That instruction, okay, include tables and diagrams. Okay, and I've asked for the outcome. Ask me any questions if you need more. Now it got that there is a much more serious look to be given to this kind of a problem, and now that is why it is asking me more questions. It needs more context. See that?
Yeah.
So now it has asked me some 13 questions, and it has also given me an outline view of what I will get after I'm done answering these questions. Okay, so let's answer the question and see how it happens. So what I generally do is I copy these questions. Okay. I copied these questions, I just paste them here in my prompt window, and I start answering it, okay? I start answering here itself. So for example, A, B, or C, it's asking me again for context, institutional governance context, nodal department for the state data warehouse. Who is it going to be, right? So let's
Yeah.
just answer IT department. Second question is primary sponsoring authority. Who is it? CS?
Yeah, let's just give IT
Let's
secretary.
just give CS, right? Or IT secretary. Then internal state approval only. So what is it for? What is the intention? Okay. So intention is either state approval or submission to World Bank ADB for additional funding, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
just say both. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm doing is right. It's very intelligent. It's a very intelligent tool. It'll figure out that what are my inputs. So I've just put a hyphen here and I've written my answers. Same I'll do here. The question number B, current state data center workloads, because I asked it to optimize for resources and be only working towards the resources which are available. And that's why I planted it over there so that it starts asking me questions because it does not know the workloads. So what I'll do is I will say 20 number of major applications. Okay. Uh, assume according to applications. So I've asked it to take an assumption now, and call it out in the document that it is taking assumptions. So then I don't have to answer any of these. I'm saying any system to be prioritized, none. Or I could pick up any, I could pick up treasury. Asking for availability, resilience, redundancy, because I gave it a constraint, right? You plan for redundancy while also being resource optimal, right? So it's asking how much redundancy resilience do you want? Give me the best in class. Give me the best possible in terms of and comparable. Let's give it a reference system. Now I'm asking it to research about GSTN first and then come back and do it for me. And this is what we do, right? When we are conceptualizing a system, we generally have another system in mind and we are trying to use that as a reference point to create a. That's why I'm giving a reference here. You can actually give exact answers also, and I think it will work beautifully. Now it is asking me what should be the redundancy be within SDC, in a SDC and a state DR, in an SDC plus DR plus cloud. So I'll say Migraj Cloud. I'll say this one. Simple. Okay. Are we following?
Yes, Samrat.
Okay. I think we have 98 participants now. I didn't realize the participants have gone up. Um, okay, excellent. Then we have technology and policy alignment. What's my preferred deployment question? So I would say this one, which is a hybrid of SDC and Make-Raj. Okay, any mandatory frameworks to align with? I would say align with India, this one. Are you seeing how simple this sounds? I'm aligning to this also. Very simple. Being stupid. I'll say not. audience and tone. Uh, so those options which are suitable for me. I've answered all the 13 questions now, and let's see what the how the outcome changes. If you all have, and that's what I was saying earlier, if you all have paid subscription of ChatGPT or any subscription of ChatGPT, you would start using, and you could prompt along. You can actually see the difference now if you start following that format. And Deepa, while it is doing it, because I've asked you to create a document, take some time, can we take a 5-minute break?
Sure, Samir.
Yeah.
No problem.
So we meet at what, 3:11, 3:16?
Sure.
Super.
So all the participants, if you guys have any question, would request you to please ask. I just gave what is feasible for us as in from the IT perspective. Just in case if you guys have from your department's perspective, you can still ask. So I would encourage everyone to please do so. Everyone, please update the Google Sheet so that it'll be easier for us to track the attendance and as well as send the update on the upcoming session also.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Samrat.
Hi. So yeah, I was so yeah, we can get started. Are you good?
Yeah, let's continue.
Took a couple of minutes extra. Okay, so let's resume. So what was done is we asked for this document and let's see earlier we said give us a well formatted document in World Bank style. Let's see. So this is what it has given us. Let's see. It's 4 pages right now, but we can keep expanding sections as we go along. And concept notes are generally small, right? So this is what it has given us. We have development, challenge and rationale. What are the key challenges? There is fragmented data. So it has come up with all of this. We've not given this information. It has come up with all the key challenges. It's sort of preempted this need that because we are creating our state level data warehouse, these would perhaps be the challenges that we're having. So without a centralized, well-governed data warehouse, the state risks underutilizing its initial investments and remains constrained in outcome-based governance. Print line, okay? And since we asked for a very professional tone and the language to be used, is made sure that it is government ready. It is ready to help us in terms of creating what we are required. It has given the characteristics of the data. It has also given some kind of volume assumptions. So it has said that these are assumptions, and we are also we will have to validate while we are doing DPR. It has given some sort of architectural layer as well, that these will be the architectural layers while we are envisaging such a tool. It has given what are the resilience measures, because if you remember in the prompt, we asked for high resilience. So it has given a specific section for it. And it has given what measures will it take to make sure that the proposed system is resilient. We gave our input of 20 applications. It has used it. It has also used the kind of inputs we gave around governance, compliance. It has already created some kind of implementation approach to different phases. It has come up with key risks, etc. Now, all that looks like an outline to me because, as I was saying earlier, that this is my way of creating documents. So I start with an outline, and then what I can now start doing is I can give to let me go back to ChatGPT. So now it also has some enhancements it is recommending, saying if you want to exceptionally strong for World Bank and ADB review, the next iteration you should include this. So it has also given me what are the improvement areas, what are the new things that we can include now. I can ask it to give me the document. Do you all know about Canvas? This is basically ChatGPT's word editor. So I don't have to take this document outside of ChatGPT to be able to edit it. So I can start editing it right here in ChatGPT itself. So it is writing this doc. All the details that I asked for. And see, it is including a table as well, with the risk, with the mitigation, etc. I can start editing this document right away. So once ChatGPT is done writing, I can start writing the canvas itself. This is a great document. You just see that, I'm able to edit it just like that. I'm able to select it here, change font, etc. Just so that it, gives you an option to finalize the document right here within ChatGPT and then take it out as a final copy. If you want to expand any of these sections, you can actually just select it. You can ask ChatGPT right here saying, uh, make this section more elaborate to augment the concept note. Yeah. So what I've done is I've created a section. I've picked up just one section and I've just asked ChatGPT to sort of elaborate that particular section. Now it is thinking. You see this bottom right. Can you see the magic? So this has become exceptionally detailed now, where you say sustainability and long-term value section is now much more expanded. It has got subsections, 5 subsections to it. I can actually, because this was a constraint given by us, this was like a need given by us, can ask ChatGPT to include specific initiatives, specific um, initiatives that will make sure that the resource efficiency remains high, right? That is what we want. See, now it has got more subsection, more text. Again, high quality text, which is good, which can go into our files. Um, Respectively, it is sort of broken down into several initiatives on efficiency. So that's the way, you can actually keep elaborating on concept note or any kind of notes which you are creating in ChatGPT. Just remember that you can actually start editing in Canvas. And if you come to Canvas, which is this mode, you can actually uh, even pick up any specific section and and give it prompts to uh, make changes to that section or elaborate or summarize or make it into bullet points. For example, this is a long, text form, paragraph. I can ask it to create. No, I don't want to. Don't want to include this paragraph. I want bullet points here. So it will just replace this entire thing while preserving the context, right? Now imagine if I were to, so I'll just close the canvas. If I were to say the document great now, I need to write an email to the project sponsor about the need to inform. So here, what I've done is I've given it a prompt to write an email, helping me draft it from my side. Um, I've given it a confirmation. The document looks great, which means it's fine now. You have to freeze it right here. I am the project manager. Let's just give ourselves also a role. I need to write an email to the project sponsor. So now I am not giving it that information again. I'm just saying I need to write it to the project sponsor. If you remember in the questions, it had asked us who is the sponsor, and we had said the state IT secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's see if it has that memory or not. It is also giving me this option. I can send it on WhatsApp. I can condense it. And I can also condense it into the kind of e-office note you are required to put up uh, for approvals. So while the emails can be long, e-office notes have to be very precise, right? That's the kind of information that is contained here. I have trained it in the past on e-office notes, and that's why it's giving us that option. Any questions on ChatGPT so far? Now, any kind of coding related tasks, I generally try to go to Claude, and I've just asked ChatGPT to create a prompt for Claude. Yeah, that is what we do, right? We have to write business requirement document, even in case we have to, and then we eventually have to write an RFP, the scope, the SLAs, etc. So it has given, see, look at the context. So it starts with prompt for Claude. It starts with the role. Now this is one AI giving prompt to another AI. It's given a role. It has asked what you need to do, your task. Okay, it has given context, key context facts, and expectations. What are the expectations from your side? And the required BRD structure also it is given. Now that is what I call a detailed prompt. There's also given an output format. Provide the BRD well-structured sections, use tables where appropriate, ensure the document is ready for conversion into Word format. Do not, and this is important because we want to eliminate any kind of hallucinations. Do not invent unrealistic data volumes or costs where exact numbers are unavailable. Clearly state to be finalized during DPR stage. Extremely important because otherwise, if you don't give these constraints, the models start to hallucinate and they give up. They pick up numbers, they assume numbers, but they don't really mention that. Okay, in the outcome. So I've just copied this and I will take it to Claude now. Where is my Claude? Yeah. So I've given it a prompt, and this is how beautifully the prompt fits here. And I will just give it a go. And now this is a new tool which has just got this huge tasks. And perhaps the prompt was so clear that it does not need it does not need any additional information, does not ask me any questions. Otherwise, this one also asks a lot of questions. You can see it has already gotten to work. There is an option if since it is creating a long document, there's an option that I can actually leave this browser and get notified. So I get notified here and click on that. While it is creating all of this document, we can actually watch the magic happening. Deepa, what are we covering after this? So we've covered meetings, we covered notes, we've covered emails. Um, do we need to do summarization?
I don't mind, but all the participants, do you guys want to see any more, like, from your department's perspective?
Yeah, and you can write on chat. You can actually write on chat if there are other things that you would want to see in these demos and these tools.
That's okay if you can just write on chat also. I think Samrat, let's do the summarization. I guess nobody is actually having any issues. Yeah, we can do the summarization, I believe, because nobody's kind of have any question or any extra.
Okay. Excellent. No worries. So I think what we can do is after this document is created, we can go to summarization and we can take any questions if at all there are. But I love the
Sure.
document is getting created, I'm going to use it. Yeah, I was just looking at the sections it is creating. Beautiful. That's the whole idea. I personally, if you were to ask me, I have been using these as my interns, these tools as interns for me. I've been using them to create first drafts of a lot of documents or presentations. which I'm required to create. Again, I don't give very specific information on what I'm trying to do here, but I try to get them to create conceptual things. So they're good at doing research and bringing back concepts.
True.
And then we can add our specifics, on top for which are industry specific or state specific. Now, these are things which it has, see, look at things, it has assumed a lot of things. So since we're doing this for the state, it has automatically assumed that we'll do it on NIC Mehraj 2.0. I did not, ask it for that. I did not ask it for API Setu, that kind of stuff. It has, these are contextual things which it starts picking up on its own. And that's why it was giving that notify option. I could just give it that large prompt and go back to doing my other work or getting a coffee, and we'll keep doing it, and I'll just get notified. And this notification actually comes on my mobile app as well once this document is done.
Samra, there's a question. It says, please list
Yeah.
down all the tools that were covered and that will be covered in future.
So yeah, why not? Yeah, Tarun, that's a great question. So I was just, I took the name of the tool Replit. I try to cover that in my sessions, but I think the last time we were doing it in Vanikor, it was not, I got the feedback that not a lot of people do that kind of work. So I did not cover it today, but we could use Replit to be able to do vibe coding, and that's something which I do all the time. So I can actually show you the interface if there's enough interest. So seems like we're done with our BRD doc, and this also has a canvas like, this also has a canvas of its own. So if we look at the BRD doc, I can actually download it. Why don't we just review it in Word? What is written in an MD file? Oh, you know what? I'll just copy it. So I can download as PDF, I can download it or publish. I just copied it. I will go to docs. And I just pasted it over here. So there's not much that I've done so far, and there are the 39-page document it just got created. We can keep refining this. We can keep adding more pointers to this. But the good point is that your first draft already has 39 pages, which means that it is fairly detailed. It's not just about filling pages and by increasing font or something or increasing spacing. It actually has deep deep information which is required for anybody who's trying to estimate uh, effort or cost, etc. for building up this particular system. So it has picked up a lot of information on its own. Uh, See, look at limitations. It has come up with limitations. It has come up with business objectives. What are my business objectives? Did not ask me any question. It just started writing it. Um, it is any roles and responsibilities, that whose role will be what, in terms of all the personas, in terms of the user personas as well. What will the treasury officer do? What will the data server do? What will an external auditor do? See, there'll be a lot of external audits for the state, like AG office or the CAG office. So all of that. Then comes the in scope and the out of scope. Did we even ask it to do it? Answer is no. But since it is trained on doing such a task, it still added that section into the document, even the out of scope stuff. And that out of scope stuff is the actual stuff where the conflict happens. When you hire a vendor, um, there's a conflict which happens there. There's a question which just came. I saw pop up. Okay, how do we use for official use? So yeah, you need to subscribe to it. The way NGD is using it is, we have to take internal approvals and we have to subscribe to it, um, and then claim reimbursement of the cost. Uh, you can have, a departmental policy for it. So you see, there's data definition validation. There's a lot of detail which it has gone to. It has created a dashboard. It has created reporting and ad hoc analysis. What kind of alerts and notifications will be required. So all this, it has come up on its own, right? So that's the beauty of using two AI agents in tandem with each other, where one was able to create an outline, a prompt for this other one, where I now know I asked for creating a document, so the concept note for that from ChatGPT. I know there's a context window, there's a token limitation it has in the outcome as well. So it was able to generate something which is 4 or 5 pages long. But I know that window is much larger in Claude. So that's why I came to Claude. Said, here is a document which I need, it has to be very detailed. So I wrote the prompt over there and then brought it over here to Claude. That's the reason. So we covered these. Any other use cases, Deepa, that you have in mind which we could cover? Because we are just nearing the end of the session, so I want to make sure that we have good coverage.
From IT perspective, I do have lots, but then again, I just want to ask other departments also, like from their department's perspective, if they want to. So anybody wants to have any use cases which is relevant to your department, please let us know. And Samra, kindly share the AI for the vibe coding is what Tarun has asked.
Yeah, so that's what I just opened up. So this is something which I use for. So vibe coding is great for in Claude as well as Replit. Replit also lets you um, prototype it. So if you're creating code, you can keep creating code in Claude and it will uh, show you some kind of outputs, etc. But Replit is a real tool where you can actually this codes on your behalf, so you can actually have the agent code on your behalf, just give it instructions. You can bring in your own code. What I do is I bring in my code from Claude and to Replit, and then I ask the agent to use it, and then it is able to create its own code as well while using what I provided it. And then it is also able to host your application. So I'll just show you if I'm able to log in. I'll just show you things which I have created in the past and uh, things which worked well for us. So there are some published apps which I have. Design Innovator. Oh yeah, design thinking things. Um, so let me start from home. So here is something which I think vibe coding is something which only one person asked. So I'll just say, here's a tool, great tool for which you can use and start creating web pages, start creating apps which can also be hosted here. So try this out, and you can connect with me individually. I will help you out with something which has worked for me. There are apps which I've already published here, so I have worked on these things. One thing which I can perhaps show you is this. There's a preview which is available. So I had just tried to create a dashboard for DPIs in India, uh, just showing that it was only an idea at that stage when I was trying to showcase to people that you know we could have something like this outside our office, just where numbers are changing, where it is showing in real time that what are the what are the numbers into different DPIs. So what is the UPI transactions in a minute? What are the DPI DigiLocker transactions in a minute? What are the eKYC transactions in a minute? APS transactions in a minute? All of those you could build. So I just wanted to uh, prototype this. So instead of just in a dry way, just I tried to create this dashboard and show it to our boss, saying if we show such dashboard to people when they enter our office, we'll be able to talk about DPI much more effectively. And then, all these kept getting added. So, what was the DPI looking like in COVID mode and natural disaster mode, and also Diwali mode? I just picked up a sample Diwali. During Diwali, so if I just change it, the numbers just go up. So if you see UPI goes up, your AEPS goes up, your DigiLocker goes up. People are traveling, so a lot of people start using DigiLocker in the real time. They're not using it, or the UPI transaction has just gone up. So if you see what changed between that time and this time is, it has gone up 300%. If you click on this one, it opens up. All this is done using Replit. Okay, so I can even show transactions, different kind of ups and downs, the peaks and troughs. So you can actually simulate all this data, or you can give it data of your own, and it will draw these lines for you. All this is done using just giving text prompts to this system. Okay, I hope this answers your question.
And Samra, there's one more question from Jaya.
Yeah,
She says, like, could you advise how we can leverage AI tools effectively in developing and refining IT policies?
awesome. So in the same way that we did DPR, concept note, etc., we could start with writing a framework. So I want to create a detailed. So you just have to start from the basics. So start detailed policy framework, detailed IT, right? I'll give a 5-year vision as well. Okay, it will also give what should be the nodal department, what would be the apex steering committee, the composition of it. Invite people from IT, finance, planning, people from state and intelligence, invite people from academia, etc. So that's the beauty of this framework. So you can start from there. Okay. Um, then you can have what are the cybersecurity things that I need to do. So again, as I was saying, that I like to do, and that is something which is an instruction I've given ChatGPT. I like to do it in bullet form first. So it's sort of currently generating the outline, and each section I can go and expand. So you can create a framework first. And the same way we did it for the DPR or the concept note, you can keep expanding different sections. create a detailed prompt on one policy. So you can pick up, for example, email usage policy, easiest of all, right? Pick up one example of email usage policy, ask ChatGPT to create, give me a detailed for Claude to generate an email usage policy for the state of, yeah. See, it is first starts with a role. You are a senior government IT policy expert and cybersecurity advisor with experience in drafting state level and central level IT policies in India, aligned with mighty certain NS. So it's very specific role it is given to Claude now. And then it is given its task. Your task is to draft a comprehensive official email usage policy for government of Manipur. So you can keep, again, the beauty lies in how well you're able to think about breaking down your task into different prompts and utilizing these tools in tandem to each other. So today, I think I majorly used these, and I think Prabhat would have covered the others in the past session or the workshop that you had. I'll just pick this one up, take it back to Claude. I had on a new chat and just pasted that. The master prompt which ChatGPT had created for us. See, now it is creating my email usage policy. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. See, now you'll see where your real judgment is required. It is given a lot of categories. It is also given some email addresses which may not be correct. So you have to now go in and make these changes. That's why, it's a first draft. It's a beautiful first draft which is created for you by the tool. But eventually you have to make sure that this is accurate and then you send it out for approvals and release to the rest of the state. Quickly on summarization. So I have started using PDF summarization by Adobe. It's a great tool to be using, and again, it's a subscription that you have to buy. But once you have it, any PDF you open, you will get a summarize button over there on top. So very easy to summarize PDF documents. But again, while you're doing it, be aware that you're sharing that document with Adobe, which is an American company. If you want to try another way, you can actually copy that text, bring it to ChatGPT, change the specifics, maybe take away locations, names, etc., and then give it to ChatGPT to summarize. You can do that as well. Wow. It has also taken care of February relaxation. So if you look at exceptional cases, it has taken care of exceptions as well. Amazing. But who can grant it? State IT secretary, uh, chief secretary, written approval is obtained, etc., etc. So all that is uh, amazingly taken care, in terms of going in details. I see it has made it so contextual for Manipur. And again, it is back to, again, it is available for us to copy and start using it. Just like that, I've created a 25-page policy. Sounds like a dream. Okay, so I think we are through with today's session. Deepa, I hope it was productive and the participants would gain something and take back something in their office productivity. Um,
I'm
I hope to
sure that
see.
that's
I hope to
because
receive feedback on today's session as well.
sure, Samrat. It was actually very useful for me at least because I had some doubt which I did ask, and I'm sure for
Sure.
everybody as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Even if
Samrat.
there are
And
future questions, happy to answer them via email or I could come on a follow-up call as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, Samrat. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Cheers.
everybody.
Bye.
And please don't forget to update the Google Sheet. Thank you.